Hey, good morning, Ryan here, and this is everything I eat in a day to stay slim and healthy after 10 years vegan with a whole plant foods focus. And you know what? Today is a beautiful day. It's my favorite day of plant-based eating. Why? Because we're starting with cereal. That's right, who would think you can make healthy cereal? I'm gonna show you how. We're not looking for any old cereal. We're focused on minimal ingredients and high fiber content, just like a la these spelt flakes. 3 ingredients. Yes, there's a little bit of beet sugar in this. Fiber content is still fantastic. So I'm starting out with my little dish here of 90 grams of these delicious spelt flakes. We're also then gonna throw on half of an apple. I've got 1 whole cup here of these lovely fresh blueberries, and then I'm gonna sprinkle on my 10 grams of hemp seeds, and of course, we're doing some of the soy milk. So I don't think you guys necessarily need to watch me assemble this whole thing, so we'll be right back. We're using about 300 ml of soy milk here. Just a little tip for you, you don't need to keep adding plant milks and subsequently adding up the calories if you don't want. You can use, this is crazy to some people, but if the rest of the dish tastes good, it's no problem. You can just use a little bit of water, like half milk, half water. That works quite well. I often do that. But today we're going with about 300 ml of the old soy milk. And voila, here we go. I don't think it looks like necessarily the most appetizing thing in the world, but when you can eat cereal on a diet, quote unquote, I'm all for it. I don't really care how the damn thing looks. Give me that bowl of slop and let me go. And I almost forgot a little bit of the old stevia here just for a bit of extra sweetness. In fact, that's too much. You don't even need much. It can be a spoiler. I'm totally fine with stevia. Now, where does this put us calorie-wise? With the extra soy milk then, we're looking at 615 calories. A surprising 25.9 grams, almost 26 grams of protein, which you think there's no obvious protein source here. Spelt flakes are quite high in protein. Then we've got, of course, the soy milk, 100 grams of carbs, which is great because I've got my workout in a couple of hours after this. Only 12 grams of fat, even with a healthy fat source being the hemp seeds. And brilliantly, and this is the thing that's going to keep me so full, as well as the volume of this, 15 grams of fiber in this meal. So great start to the day for just over 600 calories. All right, taste test. Let's get a bit of everything here. Here we go. Like I say, cereal on a diet, it's amazing to me. It's not Cocoa Pops. You know, it's not Lucky Charms, it's not all the hyper potent, sweet, refined sugar junk food, but with that little bit of stevia, the nice fresh fruit, I love this. It's as good as a healthy breakfast gets for me. All right, good little workout, time for some luncheon. So we're gonna do, again, this is my favorite day of plant-based eating, and the favorite lunch that I'm loving right now is the giant salad. So much volume, so much fiber, so filling, so satisfying, throw lots of different things in, really versatile. So always my salads look a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, I'll show you when it's done, but I've got about 3 cups of watercress here, about a cup of rocket or arugula for my friends across the pond, some leftover sweet potato, bit of avocado. You'll see, basically, red bell pepper, you'll see. I'll show you in a sec. Voila, look at this, the volume on this thing. I don't know if you get the scale on the camera, but it's huge. Again, I know it's the second big old bowl of slop today. I don't know how good it actually looks. I'll overlay some B-roll so you can see it all. But yeah, what's in this big old thing anyway, since I've already bloody forgotten, I had to write it down. That's it, 150 grams of extra firm tofu here. We've got 1/3 a can also of chickpeas, which is about 80 grams or so. 100 grams of shredded carrot, half a red bell pepper there, half a medium avocado, again for a healthy fat source, 200 grams of sweet potato for that good carbohydrate base, and I mentioned all the leafy greens at the bottom there. And all we're doing for a really simple low-calorie dressing here is what I always default to nowadays. A couple of tablespoons worth of balsamic vinegar, really low calorie, 1 level tablespoon of mustard, bit of garlic powder, mix that up, and that's just gonna, we'll do this real time, but that's just gonna get poured on our lovely salad here. Chin chin. Just like that. Again, I don't know how aesthetic this looks, but the mouth is watering. Like, why did I pick today to film when I'm so ravenous? I just want to eat this thing. But numbers then, because you are probably curious. What are we working with? 750 calories, 35 grams of protein with our chickpeas and tofu here, 82 grams of carbohydrate. You see, we're not scared of carbs. We're not scared. Oh, you know, this is not pizza or refined sugars added to soda. These are healthy, whole food sources of carbohydrate that come with loads of other nutrients as well. 36 grams of fat, so it's a higher fat meal with both the tofu has a little bit more than trace fat, chickpeas as well, and a bit of avocado. But, you know, the calories are still in check. We're not too worried about it. And this is the big one. This is why it keeps me full for so long. 25 grams of fiber. So between breakfast and lunch today, we're not even at 12 p.m. right now. I'm looking at 40 grams of fiber, which destroys the average Westerner's fiber intake. So this is why I can still keep the calories in check, stay at a low body weight, while still feeling really full. Fiber, the volume, the balanced macronutrients, we get a bit of everything. We're not scared, as I say, of the fat or the carbs, or we get adequate protein, the whole mythos about protein. So yeah, this is how we do plant-based, and it's still relatively simple. I didn't have to cook any of this. The tofu was batch cooked, the beans are straight from a can, so it's not really even as elaborate as it looks. The potato I made last night, and I'll use the other half for another meal at some point in the coming days. So it ain't even that complicated. This is how you do plant-based. This is why I love this lifestyle. Rant over, see you for some snacks probably in a couple of hours. All right, so we're T-minus 2 hours or so out from dinner, so I don't need anything heavy right now, just a little top up, and I'll often use afternoon snack, a bit of fruit in the afternoon in order to help me do that. So I've got 2 kiwis here. They were quite large, believe it or not. I mean, it doesn't look like a huge amount. That's probably because I was munching on the damn stuff whilst I was chopping it because I couldn't wait. But you know, they were pretty large as kiwis go, so I'm gonna estimate total, guesstimate I should say, we're looking at maybe 120 calories there. That's what I'm going to account for it. I've also got a little chamomile tea on the side. Since I saw you last, lunch did its job. It held me steady, but I just like this little top up, as I say, in the afternoon, because I don't want to get to 6 or 7 and be absolutely ravenous and then risk overeating on dinner. So this is how I stay like satisfied and quite controlled throughout the day. Just using snacks every now and again as a little top up. Just a couple of, these aren't rules because there are some exceptions, but guidelines for the snacks. Most of the time, you'll see in my videos, I mostly do fresh fruit as a snack. And I tend to avoid, I should say, those easy to graze, easy to overeat snacks, even if they're healthy, like nuts and seeds, trail mix, some of the dried fruit and nut bars, which I have on occasion, but try not to do too often. They're quite a calorie bomb, actually, surprisingly. Just anything that I can kind of, dried fruit, which I may have mentioned, medjool dates especially, I can just wolf that stuff down and keep going back if there's an open packet. So fresh fruit, with all that water content, the volume to calorie ratio is brilliant, so it's a perfect snack for me. And so I stick to roughly about 2 snacks per day. And so again, there are exceptions, but these are just my guidelines for snacking. Dinner this evening, we're doing my ridiculously simple tofu stir fry. If you can't stand complex, elaborate recipes, you're gonna love this one. It's an absolute cheat code. So I'm about to start just cooking up this little bit of tofu here behind me. I've got also batched from yesterday a whole bunch. You won't make that out of white rice. And that's how I make this stuff really simple. Like I do lots of batch cooking. So the ingredients I use often, so whole grains like the rice, tofu I often batch 500-600 grams of in one go. The sweet potato you saw with the salad earlier on, I make a bunch of those. Vegetables. But I have to say tonight, we're a bit of another cheat code tonight because we're just doing, this is the great thing about stir fry, you can often get these really convenient assorted stir fry veg bagged options. So like so simple, so bit of rice, bit of veggies. I'll throw in, I've got some mushrooms as well. I'm gonna throw in this. They're great for volume actually. Mushrooms, big tip. If you wanna lose some weight, great nutrient profile anyway. But if you wanna lose some weight, you can add lots of volume of mushrooms to your meals without skyrocketing the calories, big hack. Anyway, I'll show you when it's done. The feast doth arrive. What do we have here? We have about 160, 170 grams cooked white rice, which is just over about a cup's worth. Then I have, of course, the big old stir fry medley here. Bunch of veg, you've seen the tofu already. What do I do in terms of the dressing, the sauce here? Really simple. Little dash of maple syrup. You don't need too much, otherwise it's too sweet. A little bit of soy sauce, or a couple of tablespoons, I should say, of low sodium soy sauce. And then just a few spices, bit of garlic powder, bit of ground ginger. Stir that all up, throw it on. No overt, quote unquote, fat sauce here, because I already had avocado, hemp seeds today, lots of tofu. So I think we're probably good for the fat. In fact, it's probably creeping to about 60, 65 grams, which is where I want to be at the end of the day, never mind now. So we do have a bag of cashew nuts actually, so because they will go amazing in this, I've done it before. But once cashews are open, I'm an absolute gremlin, so I was leaving those alone. For a 15-20 minute meal that you do in 2 pans, it's great. It's great. It's not going to set the world alight, but it's great. It's simple. It's convenient. I showed you a couple of cheeky little workarounds to make it super shortcutted. So yeah, good hearty dinner. And just finishing off the evening here with a little bit of fruit, a little bit of dessert. So we've got half a mango that we're sharing, half of a very small, it's a really small pink lady apple, 5 or 6, I think what looks like 5 or 6 nice straws. And what a great way to end the day. Final bits of data then. We're sitting at 2,300 calories, which is actually, that's a fat loss day for me. In fact, it's quite a steep calorie deficit for me, given gym, given probably near 10, I haven't checked, but I'm gonna guess near 10,000 steps. So this is what happens when you have all of this volume, all of this fiber. You got the sweet, so you've got that outlet for the sweet tooth. And you kind of stick to really simple but enjoyable meals. It makes the whole process of losing weight, controlling your weight, far more effortless. Like, there's still challenging moments and I still get hungrier some days more than others. But honestly, it's such an easy way to drop weight if that's your goal versus all the ludicrous stuff that you see on the internet nowadays. So what a great way to finish. But anyway, I digress. 2,300 calories, 105 grams of protein. I'll remind you, that's without fake meat products. That's without any protein powders, easily over 100 grams. Bit repetitive with the tofu, no drama. I'm not worried about soy. Carbs, over 300 grams, 305 grams of carbohydrate. Fat, as I kind of predicted, I think in that last clip, we're 70 grams of fat. So a touch over where I usually want to be, but like not a deal breaker, no drama, no panic, not too bad. Fiber, 60 grams. So yeah, really good fiber intake today, which we were on course for early on. So that's it. That's how I love and have lived and have thrived, I would say, on this lifestyle for 10 plus years now. And there's not an ounce of me that feels like it's hard work anymore because of the way that I structure things, the way that I build things, just keeping things very simple. A nice intersection between like getting all my nutrients in, loads of diversity with the diet, but still keeping things simple with the little, you know, the assorted bags of veggies, the batch cooking, the overlap using repetitive ingredients throughout the day, which you'll have noticed, like there's the apple again from this morning's breakfast. That's how you make it all easy, easy, easy. Not too complex and elaborate recipes where you're spending hours in the kitchen. That's how you make this stuff stick, in my opinion. Check out the links in description if you want more tools and resources from me and to find out how I can help you further. And yeah, let me know your comments and follow-up questions down in the comment section below. See you soon.